right, what kind of person? God, I love this part. Oh my gosh. It is 27, and we are live again. Now, this show is about prayer, homes type. Yes. So we have today I'm Reverend Rich. This is Reverend
Reverend
Paul.
Paul.
And we have special guests today. Let's do it right, Paul.
Reverend
Bob
Bob Deen.
Yeah, we're gonna go through our normal questions, and this is all about prayer, and this is about applying prayer and what works. We don't want the sermon. If you do the sermon, I got the hook, but we don't.
And it's about affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment.
Affirmative spiritual mind treatment. All right, so let's get it started with the prayer. Would you mind praying us in, or should we just? Well, we should let you pray in first.
So take your breath, I'll relax into this moment. I recognize that I live, move, breathe. We all live, move, breathe, have our lives fully immersed in a spiritual universe, which is in us, as us, through us, around us. And this one power, this one life, this one place, this one thing, this one substance brings wisdom, brings peace, brings clarity of truth. Because I am it is me, I recognize and move forward into this time together, aware, fully aware of all that is true and real and right within me and within each of us. I welcome and invite us to bring the best of who we are to this moment, as together we create something very special. Mm-hmm. Knowing that the power of life is within each one of us, I am grateful for that. And I release and I let go. So it is.
So it is.
Powerful. Look, we got the best of the best here. Bob is. Can I call you Bob, or should I call you Reverend or Holiness? Or, no. Okay.
Holiness will be fine. Holiness is the one. Yes.
So I'm going to give you a couple overviews. He's a certified interim minister for Centers for Spiritual Living. Actually, you have a lot of stuff here. What would be the summary that you want people to take away from this show? Because you've done so many things. You've done the teen camps, you've done all this doctorate stuff, and what would you want people to know about Bob Deen?
I guess the biggest thing that matters for this program is that my whole ministry began. My whole interest in this teaching began as related to prayer. Mm-hmm. And I discovered the new way of praying here and built everything else around it. And I've done a lot of different stuff. Yes. What matters to me the most in my life is what is happening in my life today and where I am and what I'm doing. And I feel that way about everyone. I appreciate the reverends and the doctors and all that stuff. But Bob is fine. Okay. I'm one of you. We're all just people on the bus, moving through life the best we can. And I really approach my ministry that way. So I guess that's what I would want you to know. I mean, I've done a lot with CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living. Done a lot with education. I was a therapist along the way as a pastoral counselor. So done a lot of different things. But right now, I'm here. So that's what matters.
And we're blessed to have you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
This show is only about prayer and only about talking about Ernest Holmes. So for those of you that are joining us, this is what it's about, because I'm a licensed prayer practitioner with CSL, and Reverend Paul is a minister, and we go from there on that. So we have a bunch of questions, and I'm just curious to hear what you have to say on that. Paul, would you like to start off?
So, Reverend Bob, can you share with us your tangible results of prayer? Like what happened? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Well, my first tangible result from prayer came when I first discovered this teaching. I attended the Church of Religious Science, or then it was Church of Religious Science in Atlanta, and I heard a lot about this thing called treatment, spiritual mind treatment, which is what I call prayer. And I thought, well, this stuff either works or it doesn't, and I'm not going to mess around with it very long. So I bought Raymond Charles Barker's little pamphlet called "How to Do Treatment," or "How to Do Spiritual Mind Treatment," and I took it home. I wrote a treatment. I had had sinus trouble my whole life. I rarely was able to breathe through my nose without medication. I started doing the treatment about it. I wrote one, and then I read it every day for weeks. And then about 4 or 5 weeks, I realized I hadn't taken any medication and I was breathing just fine. And I still have the occasional flare up of something with sinuses and allergies, but it has been clear. I breathe through my nose now all the time. And to me, that was the first. And that was like, okay, I got to come back and learn more about this and see what it's all about. And that was in 1985. So I've been around a while. Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks.
That is tangible.
That's tangible. I've got more recent stories if you want that.
Oh yeah, let's hear more recent stories.
Something else. More recent one is that a few months ago, I discovered that I was really done with retirement. That was a silly thing to even try to do. I was so bored, and so I've been a minister my whole life. So trying to not be one for a little while and not do things was just ridiculous. I mean, I couldn't come up with other stuff that interested me. So I went back into ministry, or I intended to, and I started treating for what is that to be and where is it going to show up. Along with that, my car died. And along with that, I needed to move out of my place of residence. So I had kind of lumped it all together into treatments. And in 1 week before my birthday last year, I got a new place to live for the right price. I got a car given to me, and I got a two job opportunities, both of which were small enough that I could take them. One was the interim ministry in Bellingham, Washington, and the other was teaching for CSL online practitioner class. And all of that was in 1 week. And I was like, okay, treatment works. I knew that, but it does. So those are my most tangible. Lately, there have been some little ones that, but I like the big dramatic ones because I think it helps people think, well, okay, maybe this stuff's good. So plus, I think big dramatic.
If we don't apply it, we don't see it. I'm a computer scientist, so if it goes A to B to C, I want to see the results. I don't want to guess. I want to see the results now. And what you're saying is that you're seeing the results. That it just boom, it's tangible, it's measurable, and it bears fruit to you. And then you're doing prayer through you and for you, of course, and it's manifesting throughout the world, or the universal all, if you will.
So, Bob, can you go through your steps of prayer with us here?
Sure, happy to. I do and teach a 7-step process, which I know you guys are like 5-steppers. I forgive you. Okay, good. Years ago, there was a big controversy among our organizations about how many steps is right. What I know about Ernest Holmes from his textbook and his other writings is that he did all kinds of steps. He did however many steps it took to get the result he was looking for. And my teacher taught 7 steps, and that's what I do and what I pass on. So the first step is that step of recognition, where I am, who I am, what is this thing? And it's the recognition of God, if you use that word. Infinite intelligence is the one I've started with. Now I see it as as more of like a visual, a recognition of this huge, this limitless energy field, life field, consciousness field in which we live and move and have our being. And then the next step is the unification with that, recognizing that I am it. I can't. If there's only one, then I'm it. You're it. We're all it. There can't be anything outside of one, because then you got 2. So the second step is that, and then the third step is either affirmation or declaration. I sort of use those interchangeably, where I affirm the truth of what I am desiring as a done deal. So I would say I am prosperous. That could be my third step. As soon as I do that, though, the way my brain works, there's this little voice behind my ear that says, "Oh yeah, right. Have you looked at your bank account lately?" I mean, maybe you don't have that. If you don't, you only need 5 steps. But if you do, if you have that little voice pop up, that's when the denial step, which for me is the fourth step, kicks in. And what I do is deny that voice any power in my life at all, because I know it's a lie. I know it's based on something that doesn't. There's probably some idea about reality that I have from my past duality beliefs, and so I just denied any power. And then I reaffirm what I was saying in my declaration. I am prosperous. I mean, it's a simple one. And then if I've affirmed that and I know it now, I believe it. My consciousness is saying, yes, it is. I am. Then I can move on to the next step, which is gratitude. I mean, if I know I'm prosperous, what else is there but gratitude? So I'm grateful. And then I'm grateful not to something, because there's nothing to be grateful to. There's only something to be grateful for. And I'm grateful for the power of life within me. I'm grateful for the life of a universe that works this way. I'm grateful for God's presence, blah, blah, blah. And then the final step is a release. I release and let it go because the work is done. Boom, over and out. We teach our little kids over and out. So I kind of like that one. And so it is. Yeah.
So the final step that you have, is that you're releasing it to law, or the law of action, or just over and out, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, releasing to law. The law and the spirit are congruent. They're the same, working at the same time. So sometimes I don't always say, as you heard earlier, release into law. I may just say I release it, but in my mind, it's released into law, because the law is working on and responding to everything I say and everything you say. And there's a whole sermon on that, but I'll save it. But yeah, that's where I release it, because I know then, usually by the time the treatment's done, thank you. Good. Next.
That's the hook. That's the hook for the
I know,
for the
that's
long
why I got
sermons.
quiet.
As some of our previous ones said, we get a reverends on, they're going to be doing that sermon. You ain't going to stop.
It's hard not to. Yeah.
So
But
I'm
if
going to go off the question for a little bit. So when
Uh-oh.
you're working with children, have you found your prayer changing working with them?
I use different words.
Hmm.
It's been a while since I did that with children, although I work with teenagers a lot. And again, the words change. With them, the tendency is to do simpler 5-step often, rather than trying to, because the whole complexity of the way our minds work depends on the age. We do teach affirmation denial to teens, but with children, it's much simpler. It's, God is, I am, etc. I forgot the rest of it. God is, I am, therefore.
You are.
Therefore, I'm love, I'm joy, I'm peace, I'm harmony, whatever the words are. I'm good to my little sister. And, and I'm grateful. And over and out. So it is. But we
Do
don't
you
go into all
find
the.
do you find them
Right.
demonstrating more easily than we would?
I don't know. I don't really have a clear. I hope so, because they don't have so much scrambled brains. I will tell you, the teen group I had in Philadelphia years ago, were the best treaters of in our place. If you really wanted to get something done, you got the teens treating for it, because they learned treatment from the very beginning. Once they got into the teen program, they did treatments for the congregation, and they did for individuals and stuff. So yeah, they were not blocked up with all the stuff that we have by the time we get older. So it went faster and quicker. Yeah.
How how do you start your day? I mean, what makes it so that you wake up and you say, "I'm here, I'm alive," and
Oh,
God,
well, at my age, I say I'm here, I'm alive. I'm looking down at the grass. This is good. And I, what I love, the days that work the way I want them to, is I get up, I get the coffee, I see the coffee, I got mine right here, and I do a period of meditation first because it helps me clear out the junk, and then I start doing treatment. Sometimes if I'm got something, or if I had a bad dream or whatever, I'll do written pages or journaling and just work it out, put all the nonsense down on paper and throw it away. So then I can clear my mind and then do the treatment or the meditation, and more meditation than treatment usually. And usually includes some journaling. It usually includes reading from some of the materials from Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes, Raymond Charles Parker, Emma. I like to read Emma, so, and other related people. Then I get on with my day. On days that work otherwise, my granddaughter calls me and gets me out of bed because she forgot she missed her bus, and then my day starts in a little more scramble fashion. But for prayer, yes.
that's oh. So what happens if you get triggered on something? I mean, you talked about your granddaughter. I mean, what do you do when you get triggered and stuff? Do you just sort of go, or do you go into prayer immediately, or something of that nature?
Depends. This morning, you want a story, or you want to just say, okay? The story is this morning. I got home from taking her to the school because she missed her bus. I found out my car cannot be driven anymore until it goes to the doctor, and they're going to have to come get it and take it. Discovered when I started looking to pay for an Uber and rent a car for the rest of the few days that my driver's license has expired because I wasn't paying attention, and I have to go get it because at my age you have to go in every time. Anyway, all of that is simply to say my day did not start well today. And I thought, not today, please, not today, not when I'm going to be on this show. And I thought, well, there it is. So I did what I always do, which is treat, which is stop, take a few deep breaths, calm down, remember where I am, remember what I have in terms of opportunities available to me. And by that, I mean the power of spirit moving through me, the power of demonstration. And then I just started treating and reached out to a couple of people. What has become more evident is that in the treatment and in the feelings that came with the treatment and the response within me to the treatment, I've stacked way too much stuff up for this weekend. And it's time for me to clear the decks a little bit, calm down, go a little slower, and let things unfold. So that's one of the things I love most about doing treatment is sometimes it's instant reply and feedback. And the first person that I reached out to about this, that's after I had sort of come to that conclusion, was what they said. They said, maybe you shouldn't go to this retreat you're planning to go to this weekend. You don't have a vehicle. You can't rent a car. Probably not going to work. And I went, well, that's two people. If somebody else says it. Three, I know it's done. So, yeah.
Is there ever a space where you're not praying? Because the nurse
I'm
Ernest
sure.
Holmes always says to pray without ceasing.
Right. And that was Ernest. If I could do what Ernest could do, I'd be doing a lot of things differently. Of course, yes. I have times where I fall. It's interesting to me how quickly and deeply sometimes I can fall into a dark hole that says, I'm all alone. I'm just separated. I got nothing. What am I going to do? I'm a this, I'm a that. I'm to this, I'm to that. And often I can journal myself out of that until I reach a point where I can do treatment. And so there's a kind of faith involved. When I'm not in that deep hole, the other thing I do is I do a lot of breath prayer. mantra
Mm.
kind of things. Breathing in, breathing out. God is on the in breath. I am on the out breath. And that just helps me stay calmer and gives me a sense of, yes, I'm always connected. And if I forget that I'm connected, that's one of the things I use immediately. And I see that as a treatment. It's not as 5 or 7, but again, Holmes did whatever it took to have that sense of connection and to manifest things. So manifest according to what he was looking for.
Is there a
Um,
favorite mantra that you use to get out of that?
the one I just told you.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay.
God is I am. I also throw in there sometimes I am love, you're love.
Mm.
Um, if it's a relationship situation or something, or somebody cuts me off in traffic. After I say there goes God being an idiot, then I come back to you are God, I'm God, and I love you. So because and usually if I do the idiot thing, then I'm the next idiot because then I pull out on somebody, cut them off or whatever, instant karma. Um,
Mm.
when you do this stuff this long, you get instant karma whether you want it or not. So yeah.
That's that manifesting your own reality in a minute.
Exactly.
Whatever
Yeah.
comes into your mind actually goes out into the universe and says idiot, and God doesn't hear I'm an idiot or you're an idiot, it just hears idiot, and then you go
Right.
the wow. You've in your interview part, you had actually talked about, you were a Baptist theological seminary and things of that nature. How has your prayers evolved over time? You're a CSL minister and, really good at
Right.
it.
Yes. Well, um, as a Baptist, I my prayer was to Jesus through Jesus often, but I also most of the time it's interesting. It was an easy move for me into this teaching because mostly prayed to God, and I did not believe in the intercession of Jesus or anybody else between me and God. Um, my version of Baptist growing up was that it's done unto you as you believe, and I remember a couple of experiences where I did instant prayer, stop, drop, and pray was kind of the phrase, and with instant results. And as a Baptist, my mother, the dear Baptist, prayed deeply her whole life and manifested and demonstrated all kinds of stuff. So it's the faith in the demonstration, the faith in the power of life within you to bring it forward that matters. And so over time, yeah, it's changed. My prayers now are much more about my inner world than it is about making things happen. Except like now when I got to make something happen with the car. But the, uh, the focus is much more, um, much more inner work. How am I feeling? What am I doing? What am I believing? What are the voices coming up from the past that I have to
Mm.
make peace with and release? Um, my prayer work is a lot in that direction. The
So
other thing that's true now is the two or more, and then I'll stop. Thank you. Yeah, the two or more has become a really big part of my prayer practice. So
And what's a two or more?
two or more is it's up to me to do my work, but it's so much more powerful if I'm doing it with somebody else.
Mm.
So prayer in groups. I do a prayer group right after this call. I have got prayer partners. I think I have 3 or 4, and we get together every week and pray for each other or treat spiritual mind treatment. Um, so
So if you were
yeah,
to
that's
explain this philosophy to somebody who doesn't know it, what would you say?
let's see. I think I wrote my answer to that. No, I say this is a philosophy that believes in you,
Mm.
that believes there's good in the world and it's all good and there's good for you, and you ought to have it, and we will help you learn how to have it if you don't think you are now. And that's usually where I start. Of course, then they get into, but there's other stuff, and they go down that path. But the biggest thing you start with is to say enough to get them interested in wanting to talk more. because it is a simple philosophy, but you got to get some basics in order to grasp it.
So we're at the 5 minute mark. We're going to shotgun to some of these questions here.
Okay.
The favorite one is what Ernest Holmes book do you like? And don't say Science of Mind or This Thing Called You.
Okay, I won't say them, even though I like both of them. Actually, my How to Use the Science of Mind is my favorite, and that isn't just for people who are in the teaching a while. We used to reserve it for practitioners, but no, anybody can understand that and read it, and it's a really powerful book. And the other one that I like along that same line is the Anatomy of Healing Prayer, which are his papers, second pack of papers, and explains all of this so clearly and so well, and including with a lot of the varieties, so that he doesn't let us institutionalize it too much. Those have been two favorites from him.
Oh, wonderful. I like those.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next question that we have is, what is your favorite Ernest Holmes quote?
Yeah. Okay. My favorite Ernest quote is probably the principle knows no precedent. So that everything is new. It really is about newness. I start a brand new day today. I've started a brand new day now. So everything that's happened before now is done. There's no precedent. In spirit, I can treat forward something new, not based on anything that's ever happened before, and count on it. So that's really probably my go-to.
I like that because it reminds us that each prayer that we do is new.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this is their favorite question. What do you want our audience to take away from me? Actually, let's think. Yeah, what would you want our audience to take away from this talk that we've had today?
You mean besides how cute I am? Okay. Straight answer, honest answer. I want people to take away the idea that this prayer treatment, spiritual mind treatment, is not appealing to God to do something because God don't know what it's doing, or things are being messed up in my life because God's not paying attention. I believe prayer is spiritual mind treatment, which is anybody can learn, anybody can do easily and freely. All that has to happen is you come to the awareness that you're already it. You're in the middle of it all, and when you speak your word has power, and your word brings about change and manifestation. It may not always be the one you wanted, but it always brings about something new and something more for you to know about yourself. So
that's perfect.
That is perfect. Is there any plugs that you'd like to say? I know you have a LinkedIn account, and we'll actually put that LinkedIn on the show notes because it's rather long. How can people reach you, or LinkedIn is usually the best?
Well, actually, the best way to reach me is my email. Part of being on the show and getting ready for this let me know I've got some work I need to do about becoming available again. I've always counted on the center I'm in for my availability. I need to fix that. So I'm going to be asking for some help. So it's RadRevBob, which is Rad, which are my initials, Robert A. Deen, RadRevBob at Gmail. That's the easiest, best way to reach me. Otherwise, if you want to know more or see more of what I'm about, go to YouTube and plug in my name, and you will find talks and such short videos and things from all kinds of sites. But I don't have a unified site for that. So.
Well, I know a computer company that can help you. Alchemy Computer, which is me.
And you've already seen how adept I am at it. So yes, I know who to talk to. Okay.
Oh yeah, please do. I'm there. But let's go ahead and go back to I'm Reverend Rich, and this is Reverend Paul. Where can they find you, Reverend Paul?
I am spiritalive.com.
Fantastic. And we are Prayers Radio. Come look at us online. We actually put it online, and we have about 15 different other platforms that are on Apple, all these other good ones, and our friends at YouTube. And go ahead and pray us out if you would, Reverend Bob. And we're calling it a day.
Okay, since we are teaching prayer, this is just a closing, not a full blown treatment. So what I know is that we've had a rich, wonderful time communicating, sharing, knowing, and we are all part of the one power, the one light, the one life. All of us, all of those who have listened, all of those connected in any way to anyone who hears this broadcast is benefited and finds greater good in your life and in my life as a result of having been here. I'm grateful for that reality. I'm grateful for that truth. And this gratitude, I let it go, I let it be, and so it is.
And so it is.
So it is.
Yay, thank you.
Tune in. Yeah, we thank you and we appreciate you. And tune in next week on Tuesday because we're live on Rumble, and then our other ones we put out a little bit later afterwards. So everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.